InShalla and Ashe. It looks like everything's on today. There I am. Blessings, my energetic beings. Tonya D here. I'm sucking on a zinc lozenge. I kind of do that randomly just because of the experience. Welcome to my daily snippet. It's a pretty exciting day today in all actuality. So if you're seeing this on one of my channels, please subscribe and more importantly, ring the bell. I would be grateful beyond infinity for that. So as we glide into the cosmic highway today, the space of where our heart dwells. So for me, my heart dwells in the world of spirit, all kinds actually, and the otherworldly beings. So for your heart, it might dwell in a love story. So how do we ignite that personal love story? It's in a way of engaging with the truth in our heart, or our heart's truth, our heart's pure narrative. So by placing what we have learned, our innate wisdom, or even our curiosity for growth and expansion in the forefront of our conscious awareness, it's like, it really, for me, it's called the Merlin Effect. It's like being able to see into the futures and bring that story back of what that looks like. I talk about this in the Balance of Being. It's called Mind Your Matter. It's that stage of that online program. So if you have yet to course the rivers of my musing corridor, I have a variety of streams to engage with. But today we're going to muse about the element of the day, or the day master of the day, which actually is awesome on this Friday the 13th. In the season of Leo. You cannot make this shift up, right? So we have a Yin Water day master. It's called Gwai, but you'll notice it's surrounded by fire. So obviously this fire, it's a lot. So it's going to create some steam for our day master. So it's this yang fire, and our day master is yin. On the branch below, and actually on the heavenly stem to the side there. So we also, though, however, we have metal on the year next to the fire month. And we also have monkey next to the snake on the month, on the branch there. So, today really is a day to call in the spiritual, or the mineral, or the metal, the stones of our bones, our ancestors. You could actually invoke the earth star, the stones in our bones, but we could actually even utilize some earth energy to create or support the metal or the mineral. But too much will actually dry out our day master, that yin water. So it's kind of a curious day. I would definitely do more of the metal and the water elements on a day like today. So communicate would be water. Your truth would actually be metal. Speak from the center of your heart. The wood element itself would actually dry up the water too. There's not enough to actually support it because there's just not enough water, even though there is some hidden in the stems. So you could bring in the ideas, nature, to transform metal, the structure, to get into the flow of communication. That's kind of how these elements work. You want to take the missing pieces and bring it into the story. So writing is a form of communication. So wood energy forms the water, or collaborates with it, I should say. And then the structure comes from the metal or the mineral energy, which then courses back to the water energy. So yoga would be a great thing to do for a day like today. Meditation, any kind of healing, get a divination. For those that are called for one on a one-on-one session, I do actually have the ability to do a cowrie shell divination online. I have the total set up. I almost set the total hookup. But let's continue with the cosmic highway. I've thought about doing images of the energy of the cosmos, but I haven't found anything that aligns with me. But on a day like today, we are literally in alignment with the cosmic universe. So it's at this expanding rate that's not only expanding, but it's also accelerated. So our sphere of love and our heart center and our beingness, it's the globe of green that vibrates at the center of our being, our heart center. It's actually seeking to expand today, expand the story. So we have a blend of our feelings and our love story. So it's our heart. Our heart is actually reaching out into the world, out into the galactic future through the eyes of our feelings. It's like it's reaching out. You can't see my hand, sorry. Extending this lending hand. So our emotional field can not only connect to others, but also to the future or even out to the galactic universe, what I call the God channel in a way. So it's through these emotional channels, through our heart, that we can merge or at least kind of touch on these different dimensions. So the adventure that comes from a learning experience through the creation of wisdom or the wisdom in creation expands through these other options or narratives that we have in our story. So we're exploring all of our other options that we seriously have in our love channel with all of the ingredients of creativity and joy. So it really is the start of a new beginning, the future plan, the bigger picture, creating something in the public's eye, the greater globe, if you will. But what's the intention? So the intention is really to get to the root behind this, to expand and actually raise the vibration of love in our life, in our day-to-day life, and into the future. And also to not only raise it, but actually to secure it, like tying a knot out into the future, like casting, if you're a fisherman, how you cast out into the future. So it's a moment to fill out all of the cosmic pathways, the variety of paths that we each could go on, actually, grounding into our emotional foundation first. And literally, getting in the comfort zone of those feelings and get them all settled in, how a comforter can kind of settle you in and explore the variety of options. So ultimately, they have to feel good. And more importantly, they have to be exciting in our heart's corridor, the center of our beingness. That's like our soul's capital, our prime directive. It has to really, really feel excited, like, woo, enamored in a way. So you might uncover a literal pathway or a different opportunity that expands, or, both the options or the knowledge that you might have on a certain topic. And you might even uncover some new ideas or a subject on whatever it is that you're creating and manifesting, or even a different line of thinking that then creates this new different opened path of opportunities, like what you open up to. So you might want a solution, but the goal is actually to expand out on different options, different stories, different narratives, different thoughts, feelings, and pretty much beliefs and everything, really. So just follow your heart and your feelings to expand on your options and explore different directions. So it's like being at a stop sign, but you have choices to go forward, or you can turn right, or you can go left. So it really is a time to go where no being has gone before, like Star Trek, right? So myself, my corridor, like I'm expanding on my bigger picture of recalibrating my mind, all of those intellectual ideas and pursuits that are optimistic, and exploring the different ideas that resonate in my heart center, or where my heart is more excited and it's actually more attracted to it. So it's like creating this creativity bubble that goes out way, 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 way beyond the Milky Way. So I am really in a space where I'm rewiring or writing my long-term beliefs about the realm of spirit, taking those spiritual endeavors out literally into the future. So I guess be sure to watch me, because I'm going to be going through my own shift. So what you want to do is really expand on the variety of options that you have, and, explore the joy and the love molecules, or the joy molecules and the love, and spread that out into your future. So it'd be like a little kid, you know how they play with bubbles, just blow out the bubbles all over and just kind of see where they land, see what's popping, you know, and it's stuff that we're not doing on the day to day. So it's like this bright, shiny star in the future ahead of us, and just make it fun, make it an exploration. So it's the heart of our joy. It's the fun. It's the playful. It's the creative. Even this morning, I had a duck in the pool having the time of its life. She was flitting around, you know, it was her playground in my pool at the time. She even climbed out on my little floaty. She was seriously in her joy, not a care in the world. So it really is time to take any and all of the responsibility that might be like weighing on your shoulders. You know how women always kind of hunch forward. It's time to hunch back. And just be free to explore all of those unlimited possibilities, those endless, infinite ones from the eyes of your childlike wonder, a new perspective, you know. So the more joy that we have, the more likely the discovery is actually going to be amplified or magnified or like bursting like a bubble. So if you stayed in your heart channel or the channel of your love story this week, not the fear train, then ultimately what's possible in the future is going to actually open up that channel to an entirely new paradigm, something that you haven't seen. You know, it's this plethora of a new rainbow of endless possibilities. So if you happen to get caught in the fear train, then you get to discover a way out of the train and off the dilemma, right? So you really want to just sit and allow your thoughts to kind of cascade as you marinate on what you want to become or what your life has become, if that makes sense. So it's like, you know, we create our reality based on our environment a lot of the times. So the indigo is online today, our third eye, Ajna. So I would bring in a rainbow of colors, really. I would probably start with purple, make it fun, make it magical. That's kind of the energy of today. It's like the magic, using your own fairy wand in a way, and just letting the colors be sparkly. You know, and just imagine an energy field that hasn't been restricted by the laws of man, a heavenly universe that actually brings this light and these colors of joy into your being today. Your feelings might be a bit elevated, what your mind feels, or fears are on our feelings, and so is the heart. So we have this little triangle combo that's actually enough to really ignite the passion inside of us that we weren't even aware that we actually had. So it's a great day to use that wisdom channel and open that up. The seed sound of the day is Om or Om. So it's a blend of our intuition and our wisdom channel. So they're kind of merged. So I would totally make today an Om kind of day. Again, meditation, yoga, stuff like that. The angelic beings of today are Raguel. Raguel is a friend of God, literally a divine peacekeeper, just keeping the peace, or heals relationships on all levels, romantic or otherwise. He actually restores the balance of power on our planet. So you really want to invoke Raguel to ensure like the fairness and legal proceeding with transparency in the process, and even the accountability in the institutions, whatever that looks like. And he also can assist any person or group to actually rise above oppression. So what's interesting is I think the globe is truly in need of this angelic being, like on a high alert. And also, if you're a highly sensitive person, he really wards against chaos and stress. He nurtures our clairsentience. So that makes the highly sensitive person actually feel good about themselves. You can take my quiz if you're curious. It's actually super fun, and who doesn't like taking quizzes? It's kind of interesting what comes up. Then we also have Uriel, the light of God, or the illuminated angel, the Eureka Aha, which is actually elevated on a day like today. So it really is time to clear the fog, burst the bubble, upcycle our innovation, look into the future, clear up those airwaves. So if you need assistance with all of the great epiphanies that are coming in for your future today, I would actually call in Uriel for that. Now, earlier, I was thinking about using my shamanic oracle deck, but instead I brought in the fairies, which the universe is so magical how it actually just brings in what you need. So this is the Journeyman. He represents adventure, polishing up on our skills, travel. You know, if you imagine all of the great saints or the bodhisattvas and all of those that are filled with the energy and the spiritual light energy, they've all been on this kind of a journey. And they all have gone on a journey of an adventure. I kind of want to call it feels like nomadic in a way. But they went into the waiting hands of different gods and goddesses. So it's like this journey of life, and their pilgrimage began, they were ignorant in the trust field. They passed through all of their doubts and their fears, their ups and their downs, and probably actually all of their delusions too. And most certainly all of the confusion that comes on and goes on about there. So we all learn through it, slowly, sometimes painfully. So there's this new kind of trust. It's really a trust in the process, detached from the goal. So I did another ritual where I was breathing in abundance and detaching when I exhaled from the outcome. That's kind of what this feels like. So this little young journeyman is actually stepping out on his own through an optimistic venue. He's glowing with enthusiasm. His toes are even sparkly, if you can see like the tip of his toe there. So he's completed his apprenticeship into the crafts of the fairy and all the magical things that a fairy can do. Even though he hasn't achieved true mastery of his trade, he knows to accomplish this, he really has to leave the protection of the master and literally step out on his own path. He's kind of testing himself. He's even testing the knowledge he has of the world, or maybe he doesn't have. So we have this little innocent fairy being just walking trustfully into a situation that he's actually not really prepared for. And I love that it's showing the galaxy as well, this card. And he also, he has things that he is not really prepared for in an untested reality as well. So it's like two sides of the same coin. So his innocence of the previous, those experiences on this path, is kind of he's treading now, or the realm of life into where he is actually moving, or where he could also be called to. So this is kind of like innocence encounters reality in a way. So, his fairy godmother is somewhere. She's just out of sight. And his smile is out there. He's optimistic. He's cheerful. He's got all his magical juju skills. He's got his fairy godmother. He's growing within us as we step bravely, or more importantly, courageously into the unknown. He's just developing not just his potentials, but our potentials. That's why I pulled the card, with hope and optimism and having an open heart. He hasn't, his boundaries are not fearing his heart out of moving forward. So this card actually speaks to the need to really perfect our skills in our working and our living space, but it also acknowledges having a sound grounding. We're grounded just in the basics. So it's like this optimism, this innocence, and just even a willingness to learn. So what's funny is his name is actually Ongus, Oengos, by the way, this fairy, Ongus. So he's showing us that intuition serves us well, but only actually if we pay attention to it. So sometimes we're operating from just the theory and our knowledge. It might or it might not be well grounded in physical reality. So it doesn't necessarily refer to those elusive beginnings, the new beginnings. It can also signify how far we've come along our progress along the path. Just literally moving into the unknown from the known, where a new phase is this ongoing process. It can also represent the untested concepts or ideas, and even suggest a need for balance between the intuitive and the rational. as we approach this unknown. So I can't believe I pulled this card because it totally resonates with today. So we want to consider where we are going. What are those long-term goals, those futuristic goals? And what are you going to do that's helping your heart move forwards towards them? So, it truly is a magical card that I pulled today. It's kind of funny, actually. So some affirmations to get us on our way to enjoy our day. Something like, I am expanding my beliefs out into my vision of my future. Like, really utilize your third eye, sit and contemplate and like imagine what that future looks like in your day-to-day story through your heart space, though, and your feelings. And also, like, my heart is online with my feelings and also my beliefs. Like, does my heart believe that's true? And how do I feel about it? You could also say something like, my channel to unlimited possibilities is open for expansion and also for growth. That's another optimistic one. So thanks for chiming in today. And as always, I will see you on the other side. InShalla, Ashe.